What's up? And if you're watching this on Christmas Day, I guess I should probably add in, hey! Merry Christmas. So not only are we approaching the end of 2019, but also the end of a decade. And today I wanted to do something a little bit different and go through my top 10 games of the last 10 years. This is my personal list of top 10 games, so you may not agree with it, but I'm hoping you guys find a few games in here that you can at least relate to. I should also mention that one Fortnite is not on this list, as I feel like it's just a multiplayer game, and I don't know, it just seems lame to me to put like a purely multiplayer game on a list. And then the other thing is I'll only be talking about one game per series, because otherwise there would be like 3 or 4 Call of Duties on this list, and that would also be lame. So with that said though, let's do this. The top 10 games of my decade. Okay, so I'm gonna start things off with an honorable mention because it was released in the very end of the previous decade in 2009. But this is a game called Infamous. So the original Infamous was a PlayStation 3 exclusive, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated games of all time. Now the game did go on with a few other sequels, but in my opinion they just weren't as good as the originals, so that's kind of why this is sitting in the honorable mentions. Infamous was a really cool game. Basically the plot takes place in a New York City type area where this crazy bomb goes off and this one guy gets superpowers. On top of one person getting superpowers, other people develop them, and also there's some weird outbreak where people get infected. And then so basically to stop this superpower infection thing from spreading, the government essentially quarantines off the city. So basically you're the most like powerful person in the city, but it's absolute anarchy. And what I loved about it was you can choose to be the superhero or the supervillain. Every choice you make affects the gameplay, and if you choose to do bad things and take the easy way out of things, you turn bad and become a supervillain, or you can choose to be like, you know, your classic hero and you become a good guy. A really interesting gameplay with a pretty fun plotline, and yeah, it was the game that wasn't quite in 2010 that I really just wanted to mention on this list. And if you happen to have a PlayStation 3 and have never played this game, I highly recommend it. Anyways though, moving on to our number 10 spot, this is going to be Amnesia: The Dark Descent. So this is a game that released 2010, 2011, and a lot of YouTubers that you probably know now found their foothold in this game.
Welcome back to episode 2. I just realized I wasn't recording.
Fun fact, it's unlisted on my channel now, but this was the first game I ever posted to TheSmithPlays.
A couple of you guys wanted me to play it, specifically one guy.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent is a terror game that really uses the player's own imagination to make them scared.
That's no good. Whoa, that just made me scared.
A lot of the time, it's not so much what you see that's scary, but what you know might be around the corner. And you're basically going through this like haunted mansion trying to essentially remember you have amnesia, so you're trying to remember what's going on. I know you big YouTubers like PewDiePie and I'm pretty sure Markiplier have played this game, and it was something that I played too on this channel. I'm not a huge fan of horror games, but overall, even to this day, it's still my favorite. Now, moving on to our number 9 spot, this is going to be a platformer called Super Meat Boy. This was released in October of 2010 and has often been titled one of the hardest platformers of all time. Or at least it was back then.
It automatically just starts going up. I can't hang with that.
If I had to describe this game to something a little more modern, I would say it's kind of like a Cuphead. Like, it's not similar in gameplay, but it kind of got famous for just being so frustratingly challenging. Not a whole lot of storyline or anything like that. You're basically just going through a ton of missions, dying over and over and over, trying to get to the end of each level. And yeah, it's like a really low-key game that I just had a ton of fun with when I was younger. Okay, moving on to our number 8 spot. This is Until Dawn. So I don't know if I would really call Until Dawn a horror game, but this game just has an incredible storyline. This was released in August of 2015, and again, what's really cool about the storyline is you kind of make choices that influence the end of the game. And you've got 8 main characters, and if you make mistakes during certain sections, it'll cause them to go different places and ultimately die. And spoilers for storyline of anyone that's still interested in playing it. It's cool because it kind of subverts your expectations. God, I feel like this Game of Thrones. At the start of the game, you kind of want to believe that it's going to be a teen slasher type film where these teens go up to a cabin and they all get murdered. And there's basically just a huge plot twist that it's not quite that at all. Anyways, moving on to number 7. This is going to be Smash Bros. Ultimate. So this is actually only one of 2 Nintendo games on this entire list. And for anyone that was hoping that Zelda Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey were going to be on this list, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I actually I haven't played them because I'm a terrible gamer. But a game for the Switch that I have played and I absolutely love is in fact Smash Ultimate. I mean, I've always been a fan of the Super Smash Bros. Series, and this is the most polished and just clean version. It's a super classic multiplayer game that I've just had a lot of fun with playing with my friends, and yeah, I thought it deserved a mention on this list. All right, so moving on to number 6. This is going to be a bit of an old game, Portal 2. Portal 2 dropped in 2011, and it's another game that if you haven't played, I'm just going to say go to Steam right now and buy it. Portal 2 is one of the... I mean, as it's on this list, Portal 2 is one of the best games I've ever played. Basically, if you're unfamiliar with the series, it's a puzzle game with incredible dialogue. That's really all I have to say. You don't really even need to play the first one to understand the second one, but obviously it does help. Portal 2 is a fantastic, engaging game. It's got a cool co-op portion to it, and yeah, it's just a really unique game with a villain that is incredible. Like GLaDOS, for anyone who's played it, she's just got the most amazing one-liners and zingers. It's incredible. Now moving on to our number 5 spot, probably a bit more of a cliche pick. This is gonna be The Last of Us. So if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not so much a fan of The Last of Us as I am with the Uncharted series. My personal favorite Naughty Dog game is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves for the PlayStation 3. Dude, what an absolutely fantastic game Uncharted 2 was. Unfortunately, Uncharted 2 was released in 2009, and I still wanted to give Naughty Dog the credit they deserve, so I went with my second favorite Naughty Dog game, and that's The Last of Us. I feel like this is a game that's going to be on every single top 10 game, top 100 games of the decade, but it really is deserving. As a whole, I like the Uncharted series more just because it's a little bit more action, a little bit more up my alley, kind of feels like Indiana Jones almost, but man, there's no denying that The Last of Us was a great game. Really compelling storyline with phenomenal graphics, and just like really, I don't know what I would say about the gameplay. The gameplay just really manages to like drive the storyline. Like it's been so long since I've played it, but I just remember being so low on ammo all the time, you know, and like really every bullet matters so much, and I don't want to use it because there might be a big situation coming up next. And overall, man, like just a really good game. But you know The Last of Us is a good game because everyone talks about how good The Last of Us is. So let's move on. Okay, moving on to our number 4 spot. This is going to be like the Pokemon series. If I'm being honest, I don't really have a game here. Actually, I haven't played any of Gen 5. I'm sorry. So I was really hoping to put Soul Silver and Heart Gold here, but those were also in the last decade. So if I'm gonna go with a Pokemon game specifically, I think it might have to be X and Y. Sword and Shield was a fun first playthrough, but I really just don't like it after that. It's just an unpolished game. I think it had a lot more potential, and I know there's just been so much controversy with Game Freak and stuff, but I don't know. For the first ever Switch game, like of a new generation, I was disappointed. I honestly believe that Game Freak is a pretty lazy company. Just looking at the progression of these games versus literally like the other greats on the Switch, it says a lot. I mean, you've got Sword and Shield, Odyssey, Breath of the Wild. Like up here, I haven't even played those games. They're up here, and then it's like way down here. Sun and Moon was pretty good, but it's not really my favorite one either. So I think I'm gonna give it maybe to X and Y. Man, I feel like this almost turned into a critique of Pokemon, but I still love the series, you know? I'm just gonna say screw it, and I think I'm gonna go with Pokemon Go. Yeah, I really love Pokemon as a series, but there's no standout game to me besides Pokemon Go. Yeah, this part got awkward. Let's just move on. Okay, so coming in at number 3, this is going to be Minecraft. Good old Minecraft, a game that has truly stood the test of time. So I talked about Amnesia being the first game I ever posted to this channel. Minecraft was the first game I ever posted to YouTube.
Which would be yeah, that's the end of the world. Watch me go cow tipping. Ha, nerd. Oh no, no, no!
It's really sad, but I used to have an old gaming channel called Smithy V Games, and I deleted it, but it had like a pretty long-running Minecraft series on it. I got into Minecraft sometime during the early alpha, so that was like 2010, I think. It was a very different game from what it is now, but I remember getting into it and like slowly seeing it build up over the next 2 years, and it was just like insane. It was also really cool to come back to it. I posted a few videos on it, but mostly I just did a lot of time in the game playing with my friends, and it's still a fun game. But moving on to our number 2 spot, guys, this is going to be Skyrim. Dude, I mean, come on. Skyrim is such a fantastic game to this day. Dude, just talking about it, I'm like, man, maybe I should play Skyrim again. Like, oh my God. I mean, Bethesda has got so much mileage out of this game, and I really cannot wait to see the next Elder Scrolls series, but oh my God, Skyrim was good.
One thing I do want to mention is Skyrim is one of my favorite games of all time. I played this game when I was in grade 10, and I loved it, and I still love it.
I originally played it for the PlayStation 3, and I have done a few more run-throughs on PC, but I really feel like this is a game I haven't even explored as much as I could have. You know, I've done a lot of the side quests. Like, I think that the Thief's Guild really stands out to me, the magic one, but I really haven't completely explored that entire world. I mean, if they ever come out with the next Elder Scrolls, I'm absolutely going to post that to my channel. But yeah, man, Skyrim is just a game. I think it's, you know, a game that's truly deserving of one of the best of the decades. But obviously, ladies and gentlemen, there's something that's going to be ahead of all of that. That's going to be Call of Duty. I know it's lame for a lot of people that probably don't like Call of Duty, but I'm sure there's a lot of you guys watching here that are obviously Zombies fans. So you probably understand why this is the number 1 pick. I'm picking Call of Duty for zombies. Multiplayer is kind of like an appetizer to me, and zombies is the main dish. And if I'm gonna be honest and think about what my favorite Call of Duty game is, my favorite zombies game, well, let's run through it. World at War was great, but not this decade. Black Ops 4, in my opinion, was a pile of trash. You can watch my like 35-minute video on why. We've got all the side games. That's gonna be a hot no. So that basically leaves Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2. Now, as a YouTuber, Black Ops 3 was certainly more significant to me. It was when I really found a foothold in the community. But as a game in a whole, it's gonna be Black Ops 2. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is my game of the decade. This is the game that I first basically got noticed on as a YouTuber, first built this channel up to about 30,000 subscribers over the lifetime of that year. And I then played it for another whole year up until Black Ops 3 came out. I would also say that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is the game I've put the most amount of time in for any video game ever. Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Pokemon Generation 2, then Fortnite, then maybe Minecraft. And I mean, if you go through the history of my channel, you can literally just see the backgrounds change, but the game stays the same. It's like every single year I moved somewhere else, whether I was in California for the Z House or like anywheres, and it was just always zombies, you know? Origins is my favorite zombies map of all time. That's something that I was huge into speedrunning for a little bit, and at one point was 8th in the world with a record, like world record, like 8th in the world for Black Ops 2.
What was that? 108? Wow. 108.47? First time ever beating Origins flawlessly. Let's freaking go, dudes. Yes! 8th place? Dude, that is amazing, man.
I actually did have first in the world for a little tiny bit in Black Ops 3, but that quickly got beaten out. I mean, you've got the map Transit. I think that was another thing that really cemented me as a YouTuber. And honestly, like, it's just a great map for the memes. And you have Mob of the Dead, like just another movie of a map. And then even Die Rise and Buried were just classics.
Oh God.
One man, one paralyzer, one trample steed. Go! Yes! Bullseye!
And on top of that, you've also got your side dish of campaign and multiplayer. I remember playing multiplayer with subscribers. There might be some of you guys still here that we would just, I would do a live stream for like hours and just do custom games with you guys. Black Ops 2 is a game that has stayed with me through the years, and I think it's a game that I'm always going to have fond memories for, always going to be able to go back to play and enjoy. And yeah, so for that reason, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is going to be my game of the decade. And for anyone who was wondering where Black Ops 3 would place, if I was including other Call of Duties, I would probably say number 2. But yeah, that's the list. So ladies and gentlemen, I know this was a little bit different, but thank you guys so much for making it all the way through on this one. I kind of wanted to just do a more reflective video on some of the games that were really meaningful to me over the last 10 years as a YouTuber and just as a gamer in general. And it worked out well that most games that I love, I have played on my channel in the past, so it was good. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a good Christmas or time over the holidays. That's it. I'll talk to you later. Peace out, you freaking nerds.